Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your tour guide in Kyiv, Olena, and in this video I will explain you what is really going on in the capital of Ukraine in the red zone. What does it mean, how it really works, what you should know about that. Should you cancel your trip or not? So let's go for a walk here. So if you are new here, please subscribe my channel so you will not miss any other useful videos here about corona situation, about Ukraine. If you are not new here, you probably know that about 2 weeks ago I gave birth to a wonderful baby, a baby girl. Here she is, sleeping peacefully while mama is working. And this is why I am on self-isolation. I am not vaccinated because the last 9 months I've been pregnant and right now I'm breastfeeding, so I'm still hesitating and I'm deciding. Maybe you can give me a good advice in the comments, what should I do? So I'm not vaccinated yet, but I'm on self-isolation. So me with my kid, we're trying to avoid public places. That is not considered to be a very public place, let's say. Okay, and we don't go to the supermarkets and so on. So my husband, my beloved partner in crime, he does everything for me. How am I going to show you the red zone if I'm not going to the crowded places? My husband, my beloved partner in crime, he filmed everything for me and he checked the places. And thanks to that, our team, we will show you the real red zone in Kyiv. One more thing, in the description of this video there are time codes, so if you have some exact questions you go there and it saves your time. One more thing, today is the 7th of November, so if you are watching this video let's say in January 2022, well, it's too old. Please check some more recent videos on my YouTube channel and subscribe not to miss the other videos. So Ukraine is under so-called adaptive quarantine. What does it mean? Each region of Ukraine, oblast in the Ukrainian language, is given a color. The green color is the situation is very good, and in the summer all of Ukraine, all regions, they were green, and what was required is only wearing a mask on your face inside of public buildings, inside of public transport, and you were advised to keep 1.5 meters of distance between people, which wasn't really followed. But yes, people were wearing the mask in the subway and so on. Outside it was like the normal life, everything was working. If the situation in the region gets worse, the region is given a yellow color. If it's getting even worse than that, it's orange. And finally, it is red if we are screwed up. So right now, the majority of Ukrainian regions is red, including Kyiv. And I will explain you what does it mean. Taking an example of Kyiv, this is where I am, the capital of Ukraine, it is red. But if you want to know what is going on in red Lviv or in red Odesa, well, the rules are approximately the same in all regions that have red color. Most of Ukraine is red, few regions are orange, a couple of them are yellow, none of them is green. So right now the situation is the worst. Cases are growing, even though people are getting vaccinated, but this is not something surprising. So if you watched my videos in the summer, I was telling you that most probably in November there will be the red zone. Nobody knows for sure, but these are the forecasts, because you see in the summer it is hot here and there is no school or something, and in general, we rarely get sick in the summer with all diseases, respiratory, coughing, sneezing. In October and November, my kids always have cough, sneezing noses, flu or something like this. And COVID is has the same character. So COVID is spreading. So right now, November and December, November is the worst. Then most probably December, January will be better. But then again, another that risky season, that will be February and March. Again, I'm not a fortune teller. I cannot guarantee because that a lot depends on the situation in the world, mutations of COVID, and like really nobody can tell you for sure should you cancel your trip for January or you can go with it. So there is always a risk, and well, you decide yourself. I give you the information what I know and you decide what to do. So in the red zone, basic services are available for everyone. You don't need a COVID certificate or a test result if you just want to go to a supermarket and buy some food. The same goes for food markets. You go there and buy what you need. You can go to a gas station and buy fuel. You can go to the special center and repair your car. You can go to a pharmacy and buy medication. You are granted access to household chemicals, basic hygiene, means of communication, and printed media. You can buy veterinary medicines and what we need to take care of your pets. And as well, you can buy seeds for your plants and means to take care of your plants. You can visit a bank, a post office, a hairdresser, a hospital, and a vet to take care of your pet. You can repair your car, your computer, your household equipment, and you can even recycle your rubbish if you need, because it is done in the special centers. But what about restaurants, bars, pubs, nightclubs, entertainment centers, non-food markets, shops, shopping malls, theaters, cinemas, museums finally? You know, all those places for your pleasure and joy. All those places are allowed to work if 100% of staff is vaccinated or has a valid test result. The test result is valid 72 hours. And all the visitors should have COVID certificates about vaccination or have a test that is valid 72 hours. So basically, if you are not vaccinated and you come to Ukraine, if you want to take it all and enjoy all of those places, you need to make a test every 3 days. In Kyiv, there are many laboratories where you can get tested, where you can make a test. This is one of them, MedLab Test UA. This is just the nearest to my house, to my home, for example. It's not working today because it's Sunday. But there the test, the antigen test, costs just 450 hryvnias, which is like about 17 bucks, and that is well, that is the cheapest, let's say, and average. Dila, Senevo, these are the other very popular laboratories where everything is very super fast and good quality, and you have the test result in just 15-20 minutes. Yes, and it's affordable. The problem is they don't speak English. That's the problem. So I will put the links to those laboratories into the description. They are all over the places, but you need a translator or a Google Translate or a friend, a local friend who will help you with translation. And I will put a link to the clinic, which is called Universum Clinic. I like them because they speak English. So if you are fully vaccinated, there is no problem for you. You just take your COVID certificate. It can be a card, a certificate, a document that is approved by your government of your country. Well, it should be in English. The vaccine should be approved by the World Health Organization. So basically, if you entered Ukraine, the same with your COVID document, vaccination document, the same vaccination document will be valid all over the places. Yes, it is something very new for the local people, and we should never deny the human factor. So there is a risk that in some places people will be surprised to see something in English they don't understand, simply because they don't speak English, and they will be afraid, you know, to take responsibility, to be responsible, to be fired, and they will say, oh, I don't know nothing, I don't speak English, go away. But most probably there is very few cases. You know, in general, local people, they like foreigners, respect foreigners. You are like very respected here. Okay, there are people who will try to scam you, rob you, kill you, rape you, whatever, but in general, the most of local people, they will be very kind to you. Okay, so in most of the places your vaccination certificates will work. So the locals, if they are fully vaccinated, if they have 2 doses of vaccine, they are given the so-called green certificate, and it is like available in their mobile devices. So the same for you. Well, it is better if you can print your document. It's better to print it, because we are still living in the post-Soviet country, even though it's already 30 years old, Ukraine, but still local people, they like papers. bureaucracy is everything. So if you have a chance to print it, it's better to print it. If not, well, you can demand, because electronic version is valid, and if you have that QR code, that's the best. But be ready that the local places, in most of them, they don't have devices to scan your QR code. That's the problem. Okay, so let me show you how it works on the example of my husband, who went to McDonald's on the main street of Khreshchatyk without me, and he bought some coffee over there. So he just showed his mobile phone, where he has this special mobile application that was developed by the government, and there is his green certificate, and at the entrance the staff person checked it and said, yes, you're welcome. So you have to enter with your mask on, and later you can take it off when you're drinking your coffee or whatever. You probably wonder how many of those places basically work. Well, guys, many places, because finally the local business received a chance to work even during the lockdown. And the business is very interested, to survive, because last year, when there was the same lockdown, the same red zone, they did not have any chance to work, only for takeaway, only for delivery. And what was happening, that many places worked illegally, secretly, and now they have a chance to work legally. Yes, they have to put an effort to vaccinate all of the staff. There are enough of vaccines today to be vaccinated if you want. We even have kind of queues at those vaccination centers. If you don't want to be vaccinated, you can make a test every 3 days, and today the price for those tests, if you're local and you put an effort in it, you can find the price even that costs like 15 bucks. So quite affordable. If you earn a little more than 15 bucks in 3 days, it makes sense for you to make this test every 3 days. Yeah, so you will find those places, especially in Kyiv city center. There will be many places that work on the main street, on the Independence Square, and let me give you some examples. Well, basically all of those top places, top bars, top pubs, top nightclubs, they keep working. They vaccinated their staff 100%, or at least they say so. An example, Barman Diktat, that is one of the most popular bars. It's just on the main street of Khreshchatyk. So this bar says, keep calm and show your COVID certificate or your test result. So it works. You can go and enjoy yourself over there and enjoy the bar over there. I'm sorry, my English. Another bar, Alchemist, is a very popular, very fancy place. And over there, what do they offer? If you don't have a certificate, if you don't have a test result, no problem. You come and you make a test at the entrance, and you pay for this just 300 hryvnias, which is a little more than 10 bucks, which is one of the cheapest offers ever in Kyiv to make that express rapid antigen test, and it still will be available, valid the next 72 hours. Okay, so you make, if you don't have a vaccination, yeah, you are coming with a valid test, then you need to make another test within 72 hours. Yes, so you can go there to a bar, make that test, and you will have another valid test. You will be green and good for the next 3 days too, which sounds not bad, basically. Well, maybe at first it sounds complicated, but really this is something that you can do if you really want it. You see, in this case I don't encourage you, but I explain you how you can make it if you really need it, or if you really want it. Now let's check the other top places, like for example the nightclub, which is called Caribbean Club. Well, today on the 7th of November they have what? A crazy dance party. So it works for vaccinated people and those who have a test result. Avalon, another very fancy place, a restaurant, a disco, a nightclub. Take a look at their playbill for November. They have great plans and different shows. The same goes for Docker Pub, the place where you can have the local, tasty and cheap beer. It has many concerts planned for November, the same. And even if you visit, you know, the website like Karabas, Kontramarka, those places where you find what's going to happen in Kyiv, like the playbill of Kyiv, you will see that yeah, many concerts are planned for November, but they will work if they will like take place only for those who are vaccinated or have a test result. Even football, on the 2nd of November there was a football game between Dynamo Kyiv and Barcelona, and visitors were allowed, football fans were allowed to come to the stadium with a certificate or a test result. And now we will have another game, Dynamo with Bavaria München on the 23rd of November, and they keep selling the tickets, yeah, and most probably it will take place. And yeah, you will be required to show certificate or a test result at the entrance. Windy, we should hide from the wind. So guys, nightlife is alive. Here is available restaurants and so on. But if you feel that you need more information, if you feel like you need a guide, I highly recommend you to hire my colleague Tatiana. She's super cool. She's the queen, she is the goddess. So she will take you on the tour and she will give you the useful tips on where to go, what are the best places to try in Kyiv, so she can be really your guide. But please don't bother me or her if you want only to chat with a nice girl, because she's very beautiful, gorgeous. Yeah, but don't bother if you need chatting. For this you need some other websites, okay? And I will not tell you what are those. What else? The shopping malls, they keep working too. So for example, we filmed, well, my husband, he filmed Dreamtown nearby. It's a very big shopping mall, very nice. It has all, you know, entertainment and goods and food, whatever, jewelry, books, everything. There the guard is checking the document, certificate or test result at the entrance. Like each visitor who is coming is checked. But when Sergei, my husband, he filmed Globus, it is a huge underground shopping mall under the main square of Kyiv, Maidan Nezalezhnosti, Independence Square. There nobody was checking him at the entrance. There was just, you know, a sign that there is red zone, so you are required, blah blah blah. It was supposed that at each entrance, at each shop, like store, you will be checked, but that wasn't really happening. And there is like a food place, lunch place, where everybody is having lunch who works nearby. It was all working, but there were very few people, maybe because it was still morning time and more people would come later to have their lunch. So you see, if you have a certificate or if you have a test result, really no problem for you. Everything is really available. Well, if you are that kind of person who wants to visit a museum, just in case, it's the same system. Yeah, museum by museum, they decide if they have 100% of vaccinated staff, you're allowed to come. Now, Kyiv is very famous for its gorgeous churches. Some of them are museums, so they will require those certificates, but some of them are not. So in these cases, oh, I'm afraid of dogs. Yeah, so some of those churches, they are museums. They will require you to be vaccinated or tested. But many of them are churches, like the places of worship. And in those places, no one will demand anything from you. Yep. So Lavra, for example, Kyiv, Pechersk Lavra, in all of the lockdowns, it kept working. St. Andrew's Church and St. Sophia Cathedral, they are museums. But anyway, those cathedrals, those churches are very beautiful even from the outside. St. Michael Cathedral is a place of the worship, so there you can enter without the certificate. What about hotels, Elena? I hope in the hotels here, I'm not required. Guys, sorry, you are required. So in the hotels, yes, you're required to have your vaccination certificate or to have a valid test results. But regarding Airbnb apartments, okay, that you book through Airbnb or Booking, just apartments, not a hotel or hostel. You see, they are not controlled here by the government, so they are not hotels officially. You just pay to someone, to a private person, and you are becoming his guest. And I think those people don't even pay any taxes at all to the government, so it is still the gray zone. So they're not controlled, so you will not be required. I mean, again, maybe there is a human factor, and maybe someone will demand, but I doubt. Because here in Ukraine, the general attitude, most of people, they follow the rules only because they have to follow, or they have the punishment if they don't follow the rules. The most of people, they are not really afraid of COVID, or they are afraid but they hope that this will never happen to them. So basically, even people are vaccinated not because they don't want to get sick or they believe this vaccine will save them. They just want to keep working because they were told by the government to go and vaccinate yourself, and this is why they go and do this. Well, as you can see, very few people. Everybody is wearing the mask. In Kyiv, in Odesa, not really. So to use the public transport, you need to have vaccination certificate or a test result. But they don't check it when you enter the public transport. But from time to time there is the police that is getting inside of the transport, like subway, trolleybus, bus, whatever, and they check, do you have or you don't have that certificate or test result. So my husband, he had checked the subway. So again, at the entrance, they do not check you. Just in case, maybe you will be lucky or unlucky and police will come and check you, but the chance is very, very small. Most probably you're you just drive. You know, recently there were many posts in Facebook, like my friends posted like, hey, I have the whole wagon in metro, the train for myself, there is nobody else. Well, maybe that is the case if you are on the final stops. There are very few people, but well, my husband says that in the morning there were quite many people, especially on the central stations. Well, not as many people as before COVID, but quite many. Now, how strict are those rules? Well, guys, it really depends on the place. It's different from place to place. In some places, you know, the staff is very responsible and they will even check your certificate. In some places, they look the, how is this expression? They look the other way. In Ukrainian, it is they look through the fingers, which means, you know, they have a blind eye on your certificate and they just let people in. They say that in Odesa, for example, now Odesa was always like that. I'm originally from Odesa region. I know that, you know, character of atmosphere of Odesa. Few people even put the mask on inside of the public transport. Nobody cares. Like this red zone with the rules, it exists on the windows, the signs, but it looks like people do not really follow those rules. It's like the massive sabotage over there, but Odesa is in the red zone at the same time. In Kyiv, it is like more civilized, let's say. In Kyiv, people more follows the rules. In Kyiv, more people are vaccinated. That's another thing. So yes, it really depends how lucky you are, where you go, and what lucky means for you when you are checked and when you are not checked. But let's not make a holy war in the comments. Yeah, let's respect each other. Anyway, and now another very important question. For how long will it last? Nobody knows for sure. It depends on the numbers and so on, because from one side we have new records and we have new high numbers. At the same time, we have people who are like vaccinated. Very small percentage of people are vaccinated, but still it's increasing little by little. the previous experience says that this red zone quarantine in average it lasted 37 days. Yeah, 37 days. The authorities say that we need at least 3 weeks of red zone to have a good result. So at least 3 weeks. So at least November will be red. Maybe December will be yellow. I doubt that we will come back to green color in winter, autumn, or early spring. But most probably in May and summer, it will be all good again, like the last year. We hope so. But again, it depends on the virus, on the the World Health Organization. It depends on situation in your country, in my country. Like you see, that is the crazy times. Regarding education, if 100% of staff is vaccinated, in this case, you can go to your college, university, institute, whatever. So it really depends from place to place. Some places they keep working, some places do not. Like for example, the schools in Kyiv, they are on online education, even though, like for example, the teacher of my girl, she is vaccinated. But nevertheless, there are some teachers who are not. Well, the school is on the online education. So Katie is having her lessons at home, even her musical school lessons, which is a little bit weird, to have your teacher on the messenger while you play the piano. And Taras, he is visiting the kindergarten, but his kindergarten is closed because not all the teachers are vaccinated, and because it's the red zone. So I have all of my kids at home right now, all 3 of them. I received a question about Chernobyl. So Chernobyl keeps working. It's officially Chernobyl tourism does not even exist. So it's not controlled as a mass event. So basically the tours, they take place. The tour agencies, they work, the tour guides, they work. The exclusion zone is opened for the visits. So if you plan to go to Chernobyl, you can do this. Yes, if you want my advice about a guide or a tour agency, you're welcome to text me and I will give you some tips and maybe a good discount for your trip to Chernobyl. But me myself yet, I don't go there. Maybe I will be back to Chernobyl next year. Well, I hope so. Well, how to enter Ukraine, I made a video about this. It's here and the link is in the description and in the comments. It's still the same rules. Yeah, these rules are the same. You go to this video, you find the link in the description how to enter Ukraine, and there I explain it in very details. And in the description of that video, it is written, yes, a very detailed instruction what you should do to enter Ukraine. It is possible. You need a vaccination certificate or a test result, and in both cases you need a travel insurance, if briefly. Well, basically, ladies and gentlemen, that is all. Thank you very much for your attention. Darina is such a good girl. She behaved so well. So I filmed everything I wanted. I shared with you all the information that I wanted. Now I go home and added that video. I'm so glad that she gave me a chance to film. Look. She's so pretty. She's so pretty, isn't she? Yeah, and she's very calm. So, well, now I will try to edit the video at home. And I will let my husband go to work. So thank you very much for your attention. I'd like to say a very big thank you to my Patreon supporters, to those of you who started to support me recently, and to those who keep supporting me all of the time. I just wanted to say that you can cancel your subscription at any day. There are no hard feelings. I understand that we are living in hard times. So thank you to all of you. Yeah, and feel free to cancel your subscription when you think it's time. You already helped a lot. Yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice day. I hope that video was useful, and see you next week. Bye bye.